Hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar on the RISE selection process. As many of you know, RISE is an initiative of Schmidt Futures and the Roads Trust, and our team has people from both organisations. I'm Jim, the Senior Manager of Data Science at Schmidt Futures here in New York City, and I'll work on RISE selection.
Hi everyone, and I'm Sope from the Roads Trust based in Oxford, also helping lead the RISE selection process. So today we're going to give you an overview of the selection process and answer many of the questions you've all very kindly submitted from all over the world.
So let's first start with the basics. So remember, RISE is one of the world's largest scholarship programs. We're looking for brilliant and talented 15 to 17-year-olds from all over the world from any background to join our inaugural cohort of RISE Global winners. Shoppy, if people are working on the RISE Challenge projects and wondering why they should put in the time to finish, can you remind them of the benefits?
Certainly. So the 100 global winners will be receiving benefits for life. This could include scholarships for university, a technology package, mentorship, career services, seed funding to start a social enterprise, and more, all of which could add up to $500,000 Jim, depending on need over the course of their lives. So you will be able to put these resources towards using your talents for good and building a better future.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
So how are we going to select these winners? Okay, let's give a quick overview to the RISE traits. Firstly, brilliance. So brilliance is that you learn quickly, you challenge yourself with new problems. Second is perseverance. When you come across these problems, when you hit an obstacle, it doesn't keep you down for long. So you embrace challenge and you try to overcome it. Third is integrity. Honesty and strong moral principles are core to who you are. Fourth is empathy. You understand others and you relate to their experiences and you make an effort to. Finally, calling. So you have a superpower or a passion. You care about something in an off the charts way. People might think that it's a bit strange that you're so into something and you have a tireless motivation to achieve it. So these traits should be evident in the high quality work in your videos and essays that you submit to the RISE Challenge project. So we want to see that you take the initiative to act on your solution. So show us work. We encourage you to point the camera away from yourself, tell us about the process you went through and the impact that your solution is having. And this will help us see these traits in you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jim. Now let's dive into specific questions that we've received from our applicants all over the world who are participating right now in the RISE Challenge. So we have Maya from Egypt who asks, how many stages remain after stage 2? And there's Mohammed from Canada who wants to know if there's a limit to how many people can apply from each country. We have Lorena from Germany who asks, wants to know about how to prepare for the puzzle quiz. And then there's Nadia from Mexico who asks, if we don't become a RISE winner, can we apply again later? And Maj from Lebanon also asks, how does RISE choose the winners? So we're going to get to all these questions and more. But first, Jim, how competitive is the application process?
So anyone ages 15 to 17 as of July 1, 2021, from any country in the world can apply. So there's no limit. So in stage 1, we received applications from more than 165 countries. It makes it a real global community.
Yeah.
So all age eligible applicants who completed stage 1 automatically moved on to stage 2, the RISE Challenge. That's the stage we're at now. But here's the deal. It takes commitment and perseverance to complete the RISE Challenge. Not everyone will. So I can confidently tell you that the best way to increase your chance of winning is to finish the application. It's a crazy notion. At this point, don't worry about how your project compares to others. Focus on what represents you and your interests. That's the best recipe for success.
Yeah, I like that. That's great advice, Jim. And also remember that even if you don't win this year, you will still be part of the global community and all its benefits. And if you're age eligible, you can apply again next year. Now, Caleb from the Philippines wants to get into the details. He's asking, how are applicants evaluated and selected?
We've created the RISE application different from any other scholarships. So we can look at the whole you, and we care about your future potential, not just past test scores or achievements. So we've divided our selection process into distinct components so that we can learn about you from as many angles as possible. A few of the ways that we're doing that is using peer review and expert review. So with the peer review, your video responses, or on WhatsApp, your essay responses will be reviewed by a random selection of your peers according to these RISE traits. These reviews will get factored in along with other information you've shared throughout the application process to develop a composite score. There's also the expert reviews. So at the end of the RISE challenge, the submissions receiving the highest peer review scores will be reviewed by a panel of judges. The panel of judges includes global experts who work across numerous fields. They've all received background checks and training on how best to spot these RISE traits. Lastly, Sope, you're going to be deeply involved with the live evaluation. Carla from Mexico has a question about this.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to the live evaluation and meeting everyone virtually. So, after you complete the RISE challenge, up to 500 finalists will move on to stage 3, where they will all participate in a series of activities and interviews. So these applicants are further evaluated by an additional review panel who then selects the 100 global winners. So now to the next question, Jim. How much of each part of the application actually counts?
So it's a bit like a jigsaw puzzle with many pieces. So you've got your own videos, and they give you some scores. You've got reviews of other people's videos. We are looking to look at your reviews. Other people review your videos. That comprises some score. Your project summary will be reviewed by our expert reviewers. Your profile information and puzzle quiz also factor in a small way. So all pieces count together to form a whole picture of you as an applicant in stage 2.
That's great. So that means there are many opportunities to shine, which is really great. So let's look at one of those pieces specifically now, peer review. So you have to review at least 3 other applicants' videos for each of the 4 phases, making this a total of 12 reviews. So Jim, can you talk about why we use peer reviews?
Sure thing. Peer review is one of the many approaches we're taking to creating a fair and inclusive application process. So after months of research last year, the RISE team found that so teenagers from all around the world, are able to see the traits in other teenagers from videos just as well as, and if not better than, expert adult reviewers. That's really something. So the questions that you answer could help us evaluate the applicants according to some of these RISE traits. We recognize that no one, not a peer, not an expert, is immune from personal bias. And so we've developed a process that can detect bias and correct for it. So using some fairly sophisticated data analysis, we're able to normalize scores for reviewers who might be overly harsh or critical or unreliable. And we do this to help ensure that all RISE Challenge applicants are competing on a level playing field. So many competitions and scholarships don't use peer review. And so what happens with those competitions and scholarships is that they have to limit the number of finalists about whom they get a more full picture. So we're committed to reviewing as many submissions as possible, and peer review is one of the things that helps us do that.
Great, Jim. Now I have to ask, what if someone chooses to review unfairly? What if other people give me low scores to make themselves look better? What then?
That is not a strategy I'd recommend. So we ask that you review one another with integrity. Oh, we get to see your reviews. We know who you're reviewing and how. So not only are you on your honor to do so, but we're looking for the reviews that negatively target other participants to ensure that no applicant will be affected because of unfair or unreliable peer reviewers. So please review honestly and fairly.
Yeah, phew, that's good to hear. So let's examine another piece then, the puzzle quiz. Applicants have been asking how they should prepare. Do you have any tips for us, Jim?
Once you complete the RISE challenge, the final step of stage 2 is this little puzzle quiz. So you'll complete the quiz in Hello World, which takes approximately 25 minutes. And if you're applying through WhatsApp, there's an equivalent quiz there. So you will have about 90 seconds to answer each question. You can only take the quiz once and you cannot return to previous questions. So make sure you're in a comfortable place with stable internet connection, no interruptions. Now remember, you are not your quiz score. This is just one way of getting to know you. A good question is, why is it there in the first place? Now, think of the alternative. The alternative is that we go and collect, your grades and transcripts from many different education systems with many different subjects. It makes it very, very difficult to compare. This maybe doesn't have as much information, but it is fair. It doesn't require that you have an English-speaking background, and it does result in some degree of a measure of your academic potential.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. And I think something you said is really important for people to remember. You are not your quiz score. So another applicant wants to know, do the expert lessons, do they count as well?
So the expert lessons are all optional and they will not be factored into the RISE selection process. But we did design them to help you. In fact, we enjoyed making them so much that we've started, our team takes these expert lessons. So Shoppy, have you taken any of these?
Yes, I have. So I took the lesson from the Oscar-winning movie producer, Brian Grazer, about curiosity conversation. It's kind of like what we're doing now, Jim. So I'm having a conversation with someone who's interesting and I'm learning something new along the way. So there are also lessons from famous journalists, psychologists, and musicians. So if you haven't taken one yet, go to Hello World now and check it out. Okay, so next up, how does the application process differ across the platforms?
So around the world, there is a large variation in internet connectivity and access to various electronic devices. And so we came up with 3 different pathways to apply to RISE. So there's Hello World, there's our WhatsApp chatbot, and a paper application. Once you've started your application with one pathway, you must stay on that pathway the entire time. So the activities in these various pathways vary only slightly, and in each of them, we look for the same attributes. Applicants from each pathway will only be reviewed in relation to others in the same pathway in stage 2. But in stage 3, everyone will be a part of the same pool of applicants for the live evaluation.
Now, Jim, for the final question, thank you so much for answering the questions from all the young people around the world. So the deadline for the RISE challenge is fast approaching. It's on the 1st of April. And I must say this, the deadline will not be extended. Some applicants want to know though, will my video be fairly reviewed, even if I submit right at the end? So if I cut it really close, what chances do I have?
So we'll make sure that all the videos get reviewed, whether they come in on the first or last day of stage 2. That said, I would not submit on the last day. I do not recommend that you wait until the last day, as you need to upload your videos. You don't know whether internet might be out. You need to review others' videos. You need to finish your puzzle quiz. So make sure you give yourself time to do this. And remember, there will be no extension.
Yes, that's exactly right, Jim. Yes, this is not the time to take risks. Leave yourself time to complete the process. So if you haven't uploaded one of your videos for the challenge yet, go do it right now. I mean, right now. You can always watch other videos for inspiration and re-record your own. The best way to finish is to just get started. And we'll be here to support you along the way.
Thanks for watching, everyone. So to get more tips and tricks on the RISE challenge, follow us on Instagram at RISE for the World and join our Discord community, which you can access in the Hello World app. Thank you very much, all.
Thank you. Bye.